What's going on, everybody? Matt Malatesta here with VYPE. We are in the coach's corner. We're going to Southeast Texas. Brian Morgan, the head coach over at Port Arthur Memorial. Coach, good season last year. You ran into a buzzsaw in Forney in the playoffs. They ended up going to the state. But what did you take away from last year going into this year?
I think last year we were really young up front on the O line. We knew we had some really good skill players in some places, and we had a senior quarterback that hadn't played before, and we were young up front, so we knew that was, just going to season, knew that was going to be an issue. And I think once we got to see better teams, and Forney was really good. That was tough on us. Those guys just having played them young. I think we played four sophomores on the O line last year, to go with some good skill guys, and so having those guys returning along with the skill guys makes for an exciting offseason for sure.
Talk about realignment. How do you feel about it? Is there big changes for y'all? But just give us the 10-second, 30-second version of what the Titans will see realignment wise.
I think obviously we've been playing Barbers Hill, and so I think they're going to be steady. They graduated some good players, but I think they'll be steady. Galveston Ball obviously has some super talented kids, over there. Bringing the Beaumont schools, we know a lot of those kids. Our kids kind of know them, grow up with them, so it's nice to have all those guys close and some close teams. It's nice not to travel to Houston every weekend to play during district play, and then obviously in the playoffs being back in Region 3 and not having to go to Region 2 early in the year.
What is it about the Golden Triangle area? This dates back literally 100 years of football.
Sure.
There's just been so much just super talent that was a cradle of NFL players for a while. Just
Mm.
talk about the state of Southeast Texas as it relates to football.
I think, like you said, you probably said it better. There's a lot of history. I always joke with people and say it's got to be something from the refineries everybody's breathing in growing up. But I think football is really important. We're a little removed from some of the bigger cities where it's still got the schools still have this hometown feel. Where most of the kids that are here, their parents went to school at one of the high schools here, and so even being from here. I know a lot of the parents. The parents know me personally. Families. You can say, "Oh, I know his uncle. I know his older brother." So the football traditions have kind of stayed throughout the family and throughout the community.
You coached under Kenny Harrison, who really built it into a superpower. He comes over to Summer Creek. They get to a state, Final Four, and he's had tremendous success over there. What do you think you've learned the most from him as a mentor?
I think Kenny does a unbelievable job of getting guys to play sometimes above their ability. And that's always impressed me. And obviously, I mean, he coached me in high school, and so he's someone that I can call at any time. He's going to answer and talk to me about stuff. But I always was impressed with that from him. And I think he does a great job of motivating kids and finding ways to motivate them that may not necessarily it may not always be a true motivational reason. You look at it from an adult, but it gets kids going. He kind of understands how to turn those screws and make it important to the kids. And so I think that's always something that you try to do is get some of those kids that are good players to play a little above their ability.
You got some star power. You got some star power. You already know. On the offensive side of the ball, talk about Samaj Pierre, Kevon Roberts, Amante Martin. Pierre is committed to Rice. Man, Rice is not messing around. They got some running backs
No,
over there that are coming in that class. Just talk about some of those guys on the offensive side of the ball.
yeah, I think we've known all along the 26 class was a very deep class. And then 25 had some really wasn't a very deep class, but the players in it were really, really talented and some highly recruited kids. Obviously, Samaj going to Rice. Keevan's committed to Houston. Monte is going to play high level football. There's a really athletic quarterback in that group as well. There's two other running backs that are super talented that have to touch the ball, and it just happens that Monte's in the backfield with them. So it's a fun group of skill guys to work with, and just to be around on a daily basis.
On defense, you got a pair of four-star guys. And I mean, y'all have really been known for some defensive talent over there. Just talk about Michael Rouse. He's committed to Oklahoma State. You've got Tayon King. He's another linebacker that's kind of young. Just talk about kind of the teeth of that defense.
I think one thing here that we've done is probably unlike a lot of places in today's football is we really try to put the best players on defense. And that doesn't happen a lot. Just the game has changed, and so some of those kids, maybe at other places may not be playing defense, but they have for us. And Mike, Mike really blossomed as a sophomore, kind of grew physically. Tank played for us as a freshman. We've known him since he was a little kid. He's always been a good player. He's always going to be a good player. So we're very fortunate. Brock at corner, super athletic and a really highly recruited kid. So it's a fun group to be around. It's not always a fun group to practice against, but it's a fun group to be around.
Just talk about keys for next season. What's going to have to kind of happen for y'all to make, a deep run in the postseason?
I think just looking at last year, and I was kind of talking to the team about is we've in the past we've had a really good start to seasons. And I think our kids have gotten up and just for whatever reason, we kind of haven't held that high level of play late in the season. We played really, really high early and then it's kind of tailed off a little bit. And sometimes it's tailed off once we play better teams. And so I think we've got to be a little more consistent just in everything that we do and in our focus and everything. It's easy to get focused for that first game in August 30th, what have you. But, once you get to November, we just talked. I mean, we come back from July 4th workouts. There's still 24 weeks until the end of the season. So that's a lot. It's a lot more of the year left that you've been working hard, but you still got a whole half a year left. And so I think just maintain that level of consistency that we've shown early in the season. We got to get that consistency and that's preparation, everything, once you get into week 10, 11, 12, all that.
Brian Morgan, what does he do for fun? You can't just be turned on to coaching all the time. What else? What else do y'all do? What else do you do?
No, I'm definitely not. I got two kids, young kids. I really enjoy being around, and I play golf and I cycle. I ride a bike. I mean, there's some things I like to do in my free time. Like I say, obviously, I'm turned on at work, but I try not to be turned on at home. I got two little ones that they don't worry too much about football. They're worried about dad.
That's a great point. All right. Well, hey, man, best of luck this upcoming season. We'll check back with you when the season gets going. Hey, y'all, huge win last year at the beginning of the season, beating PNG, who ends up winning state. But Port Arthur Memorial, man, you do not want them on your schedule. They are
I
physical
appreciate it.
and fast. You don't want them on your schedule. Hey, have a great summer. We'll catch up to you in August. This is Matt with VYPE. We'll see you at the games.
Thanks, man.